things that run very free in my brain are like just anything true crime. And I
Ooh.
know that sounds like so cliche, like, oh, another white girl who likes true crime. How original. Well, you know what? I don't care. It lives rent free in my brain. But like also like being in LA, you're surrounded by all kinds of true crime happenings that have happened in your area. I found out only a few years ago that I lived down the street from an abandoned cryogenic facility that had bodies there. In an underground crypt in a cemetery that my shop is literally 5 minutes away from, that I hike to every single day. Like I hike around that cemetery. It's actually really, really cool. If you're able to go to it, it's Chatsworth Park South.
Is it cool or is it like cool because they're chill?
Well, didn't we just talk about that with Chrissy?
We did on a conspiracy theory episode, but we were talking about like Walt being
cryogenically.
So did you see him on your hike?
No, unfortunately, I don't know where that crypt is. Although I did manage, I went into a bit of a deep dive, not super deep, but will be deep. So I started trying to figure out what information I could find of it, because I heard all kinds of rumors about it. So it's like, I don't know what's true. I don't know what's actually fact, because we always want to go with the facts. We never want to go with what's hearsay or whatever. Although hearsay can be kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of nice to hear the rumor mills, and see what people are running with.
Sometimes it's what actually hooks you in, and then you actually learn what happened, and then it's like, oh, well, that's still really interesting.
How did you first hear about it? That's what I'm like, because I've lived in a couple places in LA, but I've never like Googled the history of any of the places I've lived in, and now I kind of want to.
So, where that area is also near where the Manson family lived.
Oh.
So I was looking up like true crime stuff that happened in the area, and of course I found out about the Manson family, and then this little tiny blurb of someone talking about how there was an abandoned cryogenic facility that a news crew supposedly went down and tried to do an investigation of these bodies that were supposedly abandoned. And yeah, it was quite a thing. It was a very unfortunate event for the cryogenic community.
Oh no.
So yeah. But it was the very first cryogenic lab in California. That I know is a fact. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And that's interesting.
And apparently it was a 10-foot by 20-foot facility that can only be entered from above. So I'm just like, how do you bring the bodies down and people stay in place? And what did this facility? And apparently there was also no electrical anything. Like there was no installation, no power involved,
no AC,
nothing, no AC in that box, and
no Wi-Fi,
not in the 70s or 80s. Nope. This happened in the 70s, early 80s.
It's been a minute.
But yeah, this guy apparently just kind of was just taking people's money and just kind of ran off with it.
No, so he scammed people. Oh my, so it wasn't even, okay, whoa. So it wasn't even like a legit, like, we're trying to do this thing, we're testing it.
He just like, that's what it started out with.
Okay.
And then I think maybe he was overwhelmed, maybe like, because to run and maintain an operation like that constantly, I feel like that just takes, that, I don't know hardly anything about cryogenics. I have to disclose that.
Same. I know nothing.
But I know kind of like just the basics. It's like, okay, you have a body that's frozen. People consent to this sort of thing. So that way they can be defrosted.
Right, eventually.
Typically for a cure for whatever disease that they might have or whatever. That's typically the common reason.
I didn't even think about that. Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, that's... I guess that's what happened with a bunch of bodies that happened.
Dang.
And yeah, I live down the street from one of those, and that's just it's so crazy. And I didn't know, and I would hike near the mausoleums that are over in, not like in the cemetery, because the cemetery is like right behind or right in front of like this hiking trail that I always hike my dogs around, and it's like, oh wow, I've just been walking around here. And like, it does not bother me that I'm walking around like, oh, these are dead people. But wait a second, there's an underground crypt and it had dead people, and they've been removed.
Yeah.
I'm sure they've been removed. I don't know what became of the facility. I did find a 200-ish or so page dissertation of somebody who basically did an insane deep dive of the entire incident.
Oh.
And I'm like, okay, I was on like 2 flights that were both like about 4 or 5 hours. I did not take the opportunity to just read.
Rats.
I wanted to sleep, so I chose sleep. It was very necessary. I'm glad I chose sleep. But maybe I'll find like some kind of chat app or something that can just like while I'm on the treadmill, like, hey, let's play this because I don't know.
Because 200 pages is a lot.
200 pages
Yeah.
is a lot. It's a lot.
But like, okay, if I was one of those people, I would haunt that scammer for the rest of his life.
Oh, absolutely.
To be like, you took my money and you left me in the ground to rot in the ice chamber. Like, oh, I would so be a ghost and haunt that guy.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Oh my
the last thing I want to do is be frozen. That I feel like would be sucky because it's like,
Yeah, you wouldn't do it?
I don't think I could do it.